Howdy, everybody out there. I usually say hi, nerdy romantics, but I have no idea how many of y'all are actually nerdy romantics out there right now. So let me just say hi, everybody. We are live, hopefully, on YouTube.
I see the red button. I see the red
Okay.
button that says live. So I think
All
we're
right.
good.
And we are fairly new to live. Okay, so this is just gonna be a fun time talking about lanterns and doing some crazy stuff out here. We'll see exactly what happens. We do have an agenda though here. We do have some stuff going on here. We will see what happens. But right now we are talking live and we are talking Lanterns, season 1, episode 1, now
Mhm.
streaming on HBO Max. And I guess on HBO um the actual channel. I don't know. Who
Nobody
knows?
has channels anymore.
I
Come
know.
on.
Yeah, I know. So, hopefully we will also have a recording for our podcast listeners. So, if we do, hey y'all podcast listeners out there, we are doing these lives weekly for Lanterns. We are doing live streams on the YouTube channel and we will set a date once we get this first one under our belts. How about we do that?
Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see how this goes first because this might not be the best thing ever. But I'm telling you, I'm having fun right now. And I have with me Jen. Jen has been a guest host on a lot of our episodes. And yeah, she does the nerdy, but we have also deemed her the romance connoisseur.
Oh,
Right? All right, Jen, because this is the Nerdy Romantics podcast. So, yes, we talk about nerdy, but we also talk about romance books and
my favorite
movies
things.
and
These are a
shows.
couple of my favorite things. That's not how it goes.
Oh, yes, I'm loving it. Oh, gosh, y'all, if y'all are just listening, Jen just sipped from her Wonder Woman cup.
You know it.
Okay.
You know
Yeah,
it.
she's bona fide. She's bona fide. And how about she has on closer to the right kind of green than I do at this point. But I just realized I don't have a lot of green stuff. I
Oh,
need to
we're
get
gonna have
me a
to fix
Green
that.
Lanterns t-shirt.
Ma'am, if we are gonna have to fix that because if we're doing this every week, you're gonna need to we got to work on your wardrobe. We need
Yes,
some
yes.
wardrobe. Where's our wardrobe girl? Come here.
All
Hey,
right.
get wardrobe in here. This is a professional
Right.
show.
Where is our anything person right now? Because I'm telling you, this producing and talking at the same time is kind of hard. So but I think I've got this down, y'all. I think I've got this down. So um the we do have an agenda and we are going to talk about topics like we usually do when we do
Mhm.
reviews, and I also forgot to put star rating in there, but we'll do a star rating too for this first episode. And the first topic that we are going to talk about should be coming up is one thing that we really liked about Lanterns season 1, episode 1. So, going into this, I'm going to say that I was not up on the Lanterns. I knew probably what Perry taught us when we talked about Green Lanterns with the
Mhm.
Superman episode. I mean, yes, the Superman episode. When we
Okay.
did the review on the Superman movie last year in 2025,
Mhm.
um, there was a Green Lantern there in that movie, Guy
Mhm.
Gardner, played by Nathan Fillion, who I love Nathan Fillion. But
Love him. Love him.
yes, isn't he great? But I knew nothing about them, Green Lanterns at the time, and except that Ryan Reynolds had this little stint,
He
and
was one briefly. Most of what I know about the Green Lantern characters, plural, comes from Saturday morning cartoons and the Justice League that was running there for a few years, just a few years ago, which is also available probably on HBO as well. But that's kind of where my information about them comes from. And then this morning over breakfast, I made a comment to my husband about the fact that we were going to be recording this and we're going to be talking about the first episode. And he reveals to me for the first time in our, what are we at, 36 years together, that he has read more than 100 Green Lantern comic books.
What?
That it was probably the character that the single character comic book that he read the most of as a kid. And I'm like, what?
Right? Are we kidding right now? Oh,
I knew he was a big DC guy because when Marvel started with the MCU, we were talking, we would kind of go back and forth about what's in the books and stuff. And he's like, I didn't really read that character, or I never read that series or whatever. So, and like I said, all of my knowledge about superheroes came from Saturday morning cartoons up until whatever it is, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so we chatted a little bit, so I'll share some of his insights about the show as we kind of get going here.
Oh, that's great.
And what he knows and kind of how he reacted to it too. So it's kind of like the three of us are here.
All right, cool beans. That sounds good. It's always good to have at least a comic book person around, because we're not comic book girlies. But we just appreciate what's being done in the comic books, and we know that those are usually inspiration for what we see. And I consider them canon, so I like
for sure.
Yeah, I like to know what's actually going on in the comic book, even if I haven't read it, just to see how close it is, and all those kinds of stuff, to have those little Easter eggs and stuff. So let's get back to our one thing that we really liked about this first episode. Jen, what's the one thing, or maybe it wasn't one thing, that you really liked about this episode? Tell us how you felt.
I have a lot of feelings about this episode. A lot of feelings. One feeling was always kind of like, I wonder where they're going with this.
Yes.
But something I really, really love about this show is the cast. I'm going to start with Kelly Macdonald. She plays the sheriff.
Yes.
She is so perfect. And I really love the fact that she is a very short woman.
Yeah.
And that she is going to be right. Like, it doesn't matter that there's like, I don't know, a foot between her eyes and and Hal Jordan's eyes. But when they are arguing, she is right up in there. She is like, and she has a spine of steel. Then we find out later that there are layers to Kelly, to Kelly Macdonald. We find out about the layers later on, about there's so much more to her character than just being the sheriff. So really loved that. Really loved Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan. I do know about Hal Jordan is that he is kind of, in his books, he does sort of become this, he kind of goes a little sideways, and he is clearly someone who's struggling with his place and what is going on with him. I don't know if it's I don't know if we're talking about a PTSD situation. I don't know what kind of things he's seen or had to fight with, or how often he's almost lost his life, but he's kind of a mess.
Yeah.
And then we have our star, Jon Stewart, Aaron Pierre, who is he is so great as the John Stewart Green Lantern. Each of the Green Lanterns that are in the comic books, they all have their different personalities and such. But John Stewart is the one that I knew from the cartoon, from the Justice League cartoon.
Mhm. Yep.
And he is that strong, no nonsense, you know, I'm a cop, just the facts, ma'am, all that kind of attitude. And he has this presence where he doesn't have to say a lot. He doesn't have like big like big character energy the way that Hal does.
Yeah.
Where he's sort of all over the place. But you cannot take your eyes off him when he's on the screen. His presence there is just love.
Right.
Love. I'm excited to see where they take this.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I'm like, oh, I like how you're starting this out. Mm-hmm. And yes, I'm gonna do a comparison to somebody who's closer in the romance genre because she does Bridgerton stuff right now.
Yeah,
it feels like a Shondaland show a little bit. It kind of has that. Okay, that How to Get Away with Murder thing where it's like, we're going to show you some stuff.
Yeah.
And then we're going to tell you, we're going to give you backstory and tell you how we got to this point. And so I'm wondering if they are actually going to do that. Okay, so yes, I didn't do a spoiler alert because we're trying not to spoil it since we're watching in the moment. But I'm already gonna say, just in case, it might be something there. We'll try to say spoiler alert before we say that.
We are live. We cannot give you warnings. Nobody knows what's coming out of these mouths. Nobody knows what we're about to say. We don't know what we're about to say.
We have no idea.
Not a clue. So, just hold on to your seats, folks. Let's see where this goes.
Exactly. Jen, you got that right, because we don't know. Oh gosh, this is gonna be so fun. Oh my gosh. But yes, I'll say the one thing that I liked is I'm gonna echo, yes, I like how they're playing Hal and they're playing John because it seems very true to what the little bit that I know of from the comics. It seems like they're kind of playing them pretty much, at least what I know of, the very little that I know of. But I will say the one thing that I liked in general was the humor.
Oh, yeah.
The humorous things that they were saying and their dynamic, the Hal and John dynamic is humorous too. It's kind of like the Odd Couple, kind of.
So much. Oh my gosh.
It's so fun. And it's giving me a little bit of but not the same way that Wonder Man was, but it's giving me that same kind of vibe and that we got in Wonder Man, because Sir Ben Kingsley and Yahya Abdul-Mateen, the way they played those roles was just, it gives you like buddy comedy. It gives you, all that fun stuff. And that's kind of what we're getting here. I'm like, yes, I love this.
I love a buddy cop movie.
Yes.
Right?
And literally they are,
that you went to Wonder Man, which is great. R.I.P. Wonder Man. I wish we could have gotten 10 seasons of that one.
I know.
Seriously, one of the best shows I've ever seen. Not best Marvel, not just like best MCU, but like best show that I've seen. Like top 5. But because I kind of went towards Lethal Weapon. This was like this was something, right? With there was something Lethal Weapon about these two.
Very much so.
That we have, this one's a mess, and this one has his act together, very responsible, right? So that was kind of where my head was. But yeah, I'm in. Yeah,
exactly. It's just I could just I could just eat this up all day. I can't wait to see like that play out. Um, one thing that we want to know more about, though, okay, so this is our second topic here. One thing that we want to know more about,
Mhm.
I'm going to say the one thing I want to know more about is just the whole mystery of the thing. And
For
yes,
real.
I'm not trying to spoil it, but there is a mystery there's a mystery that happens in the beginning, but
Mhm.
then at the very end, doggone, they hit you with a brick of a mystery.
Yes. We've got like, and
Yeah.
we have 3 different times, right?
Yes.
And
Yep.
so there's huge missing gaps in between of
Yes.
what happened. Yeah.
What happened?
Mhm.
And at the end, we're seeing the present day time, and we realize, whoa, a lot has happened that we really don't know.
Mhm.
And I can't wait to see all of that play out. And I will say here at this juncture, yes, the mystery is the one thing we don't know about. And yeah, we want to see it play out. But also, at the end of the episode, there
Mhm.
is a little, not podcast because they have their own podcast, but
Mhm.
there's a little kind of explanation kind of thing at the end
Mhm.
of the episode, like after the credits roll kind of thing. There's like a little explanation kind of thing at the end that HBO does with a lot of its stuff that
Uh-huh.
just kind of talks about um the episode from a producer director point of view, how how the actors are playing the characters kind of thing, that point of view. And for those who just want to know, the one thing that you wanted to know about was how this show is getting made and what they're thinking about behind the show, that will tell you a lot.
I did not know this was a
Yeah.
thing that was happening, and I am like,
Yeah.
when we're done here, that's my next step. I will be back on my couch, and I have to
Yeah.
go find this out. Actually, no, that's not true. I will wait for my husband to get home because, like I said, we're watching this together. So,
Oh, exactly. You gotta wait for it. You gotta wait for him. Yeah.
hmm.
But yeah. So I don't know if, again, I did not watch this live. I watched this streaming after the fact. So I don't know if they add this on when it's live or whatever. But I know that they tend to do this on big HBO shows. They'll like,
Awesome.
yeah, the producers and the directors will talk about how they got this pilot made and all this other kind of stuff, though, and like where the story is coming from. So it's definitely something, definitely to see after the episode because they spoil it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
but
I love me a story. I want the
yes.
story behind the story always,
Yes, and that's
everywhere.
it. That's it. It's the story behind the story
Mhm.
kind of thing. And I like this, and I hope they do this with all the episodes. Usually they do with these bigger shows. They did with Penguin, which
Mhm.
um if you haven't watched Penguin, oh my gosh, amazing show. Amazing show. And I learned a lot about how they created the Sophia character from that end part that they were talking about. So
Nice.
it was great. But yeah, so the one thing that I want to know more about is I want to know more about this mystery. But Jen, what about you? What do you want to know more about?
So many things. Uh, I need
Yes.
I need to know a lot more about Mrs. Macon. Um,
Yes.
I need to know a lot more about her. I need
Yeah.
to know. Okay, so here's something that was, um, like I said, I'm watching this show and kind of, I feel a little on edge. Like, oh,
Mhm.
it's not what I expected. And one of the first things that they show, so this isn't like a big spoiler, but is this idea that Hal is training John.
Yeah.
And and so again, didn't read the comic book, so I don't know about the lore here. But Scott was telling me that yes, there is a training program for them to go to. It was something that was kind of added in a bit later, but there is kind of a larger, because obviously these are the cops, if you will, for the entire galaxy. So there is something like that. But I kind of thought that there was more like one Green Lantern at a time, and that when that when Hal was dead, then the ring would find another person to choose. And I thought that's how it worked. So that's the first thing, is that I'm kind of in this, oh, okay, this isn't what I expected. I didn't realize this is how this is going, that kind of thing. And then there's that moment on the road with the hologram, and I'm like,
yes,
there is more happening here.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about a good television show, a really, really good television show, is that they are going to give you a very subtle hint about something, and then you're like, wait, what happened? And it's easy to sort of gloss over, because there's other big events that are happening, right? There's the car accident before that. Well, it's not an accident, but there's the car crash before that. There's the and then after that, there's the Hal just like takes off like straight up into the air, and so there's these other big things that are happening. So it's easy to kind of forget that particular conversation. So I'm curious where that is going. And I love that we have these 3 different time periods that we're following. So yeah.
I agree. It's like I need to know a little bit more, I guess, about like what makes a Green Lantern a Green Lantern. And well, I mean, I know that, but you know what I mean, how they the training part, and do they get together for cop conferences? Like what? That sounded silly, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. I know there's a couple of versions of the cartoons that have Green Lanterns from other planets,
right,
that come to help Earth. Okay. Earth is in trouble a lot. I mean, gracious, we are the problem child here of the universe, apparently. So
yeah, I think in real life too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we won't talk about that. But it's a whole
different podcast.
Yes, exactly. Whole different podcast. But yeah, so I guess that's the one thing that I do want to know more about. But it also kind of goes into the one thing that I learned, which is the whole training part. Hal is training John. And so John doesn't have the ring yet. So Hal has the ring. So even though you're chosen, was he chosen to be in training? I mean, so it's one thing I kind of, and two, what you're saying about you have one Green Lantern for each sector or each area, and sometimes they like in the comic, I'm sorry, in the animated show, sometimes they're coming together to help Earth because Earth's got issues. But that's one thing I actually learned, is that there's this training going on, and it's not just about the ring choosing you and all of a sudden you get something, and two, there's this point where it's like, what are you manifesting with the ring? That's always something that has intrigued me, because Green Lanterns manifest different things, and they do different things with the things they manifest. So I'm excited to kind of see more about that. What I think that everybody should watch out for, though, and yes, this is not that podcast, but y'all, they put a few little social things in here, and I
Mhm.
want y'all to keep watching.
Mhm.
Okay? Keep watching. Do not let people say some stuff to keep you from watching, like
Mhm.
other trigger words that I'm not going to mention in here,
Mhm.
because they do say some very current they make some very current social commentaries that I
Mhm.
noticed. And I'm like, I want them to keep doing that because it's
Yeah.
telling the truth of the world, especially considering that they have these dates that we're looking at,
Mhm.
right? And
Oh,
one
yeah.
of these dates is actually this year. One of these,
Yes.
year
Yeah.
periods is this year. So the fact that they're saying some things here that make this even more real,
Right.
right?
Right.
um is very I like that.
Mhm.
And considering where this whole production team, or I mean this whole company and production team and stuff might
Yeah.
go, I hope they keep I just hope they keep true. That's what I'm
For
gonna say.
me,
True to the team.
I feel like that's a big role that superhero TV shows and movies and cartoons and comic books. I think that has always been a role that they've played is to have some type of social commentary about
Yes.
what's happening in the world and doing it in a way that feels completely separate, right? Because we don't have a Green Lantern as far as we know. We
Right.
don't have a Green Lantern. We don't have a Superman. We don't have a Wonder Woman that is coming to save us. And so being able to tell stories
Jen
and
is trying to
comment.
hide her identity, y'all. I'm
uh,
kidding. Go
you
ahead,
know,
Jen.
oh no, she found me out. But being able to comment on life and the world, it's done in so many different. It's done in every single superhero movie that you watch, every single TV show
Yes.
that you've watched. Like it's there, and sometimes it's more below the surface, and sometimes it's a little closer to the surface. So, and sometimes it's just, sometimes people just choose not to see it, which is also totally fine. There's like, this doesn't have to be an after school special with a moral, with some sort of moral story at the end of it. You can really just watch it for the, for the banter and um, for the set pieces and just um, for the aliens. So
Right.
watch it.
Right,
I don't think that's a
exactly.
spoiler. I think that's in the trailer that Hal Jordan is called upon because there's maybe possibly sort of kind of could be an alien invasion.
Right.
Ozzy says hello. He's also very excited to talk about this.
All right,
Yeah.
Ozzy. Yes. We love seeing Ozzy on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like, okay, I'm hearing it and I'm seeing it and I'm thinking, yes, I'm right along with you. This is why I nerd out about all these things. I mean, the thing about it is Star Trek has always been this way. Star Wars has been this way. Every nerdy thing ever
Oh
has
yeah.
done this because the thing about sci-fi and superheroes, which I guess would be considered animated sci-fi, is that they help us with the human experience.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
As
We can.
non-human as a lot of these things are, they're supposed to help us and show us things about
Mhm.
the human experience. And
Exactly.
sometimes that's social commentary because they're doing it at a time when, we need to make some social commentary about it.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh. Yeah.
Star Trek is famous for doing this. Like in
I
its
know.
very beginning episodes, like the TOS episodes, they are. I mean, that's what Gene Roddenberry, the founder of Star Trek, that's what he's all about. I mean, that was what he was all about. You know.
That's what he wanted. Which side note, I can't believe
Yeah.
we haven't talked about Strange New Worlds yet, which we are not doing today. But
No, we won't do that today.
but um but just FYI, nerdy romantics, there will be podcasts about
Yes.
that one.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
Okay, so something I want to call out.
yes.
First of all, there is a real dog underneath here. He needs to be groomed, and he is. Look at how long his hair is. There he
Oh
is.
gosh, yeah.
So sleepy. He's so sleepy. Okay. Something that I want to call out, or and to just sort of, this was something that it really did, like, it really kind of took me out of the show. And I don't know where this is going or anything. There's the scene with young Hal Jordan and his dad. And that is so weird to me that they included that scene. And that was something that when I was talking to Scott about it, he said that's not canon. That whole scene is not canon, and it kind of introduces a different theme than where he thought that the show was going. So he said that the whole thing with being a Green Lantern is about willpower, right? Because you use the ring to will things into existence. And so there's this control element and an aspect to it. And with what the show mentioned a couple different times was this idea of are you afraid? No. Right. Okay. And if you're not afraid, then you get to be a lantern or whatever. And he's like, he goes, that's not really how the Green Lantern works. That's not what they do. It's not about being fearless. It's not about avoiding fear. It's about knowing that you're afraid and being able to have the willpower to push through it, right? That bravery, that courage, that's what we love about our superheroes, is that they can be afraid. Even when they're indestructible, they can be afraid, and they can act, and they can act in the best interest. And both of us were like, that scene with the dad is, I don't know why it's in there. To me, honestly, that's an upsetting scene. I'm going to be honest with you. And so I'm curious as to where exactly that's going to go for this whole, like, are you afraid kind of conversation. And one of the other things that Scott said is that there's bad lanterns. The yellow lanterns are bad guys in the comic books. Okay. And fear is sort of their emotional theme of making people fear them and
they sow fear.
Okay. Creating fear. So that's just a piece of information to just kind of put out there. Like I said, I don't know where they're going with this. So yeah. I'm willing to sit on the couch and get through the whole show. And we can talk about this more as we get through further episodes about where they're going with this. So, yeah. But that one I just want to put out there. I think that's a really messed up scene, and it's not very long. It's a short scene. So just everybody know. But yeah, didn't like that.
When I saw that scene, I was thinking, if that was something that I wrote in one of my books, I'd have to have a trigger warning about it.
For sure. Oh,
yeah.
Speaking of
okay, we're not going to talk about it anymore. We promise.
Okay, all right. Ozzy's had enough. He's had enough of that.
Okay, we won't talk about that anymore. But what we will talk about is we don't have any questions in the chat. But there are a couple of things that I saw online that are not necessarily questions, but kind of things that people are pondering that I just wanted to mention. And the first is that for some reason people are doing an Arrowverse kind of comparison. Jen, I wanted to know what your thoughts were. Do you think is it comparable, and is that good for you or not good for you, or what? What are you thinking?
I tend to not compare things in terms of like ranking them. I big Arrowverse fan. I watched all of the Green Arrow, most of Supergirl, most of Flash. Um, so to me, those are things. Everything stands on its own. I'm not. It's a very different. It's a very different take. I think there's a very different budget,
Yeah.
and what they are trying to accomplish with these shows. I mean, the Arrowverse stuff and a lot of the Berlantiverse stuff that was made when they were still doing like what 20. I think there's like 20
Yeah.
episodes in a
26.
season.
Yeah.
That's
26.
a lot of there's a lot of these stories that are getting told, and that's not how these TV shows are going right now, right? We're getting 8 or 10 or 12, and that's it. So there's much more of a shortened timeline in terms of getting the story out, which means that by definition there's going to be less. There have to be fewer side characters. There has to be more focused storytelling. And the good news about that is that if we're getting 10 hours of story, like give me, make it meaningful, make it like very rich storytelling. Give me everything I need to get out of that so that I don't want to leave my couch during that show, you
Right.
know? And
Yeah.
sometimes people, miss out on like, oh no, there was like 20 episodes. How come we can't have 20 episodes anymore? Well, I mean, if you really go back and watch stuff that was like 20, 25, 26 episodes in a season, there's a few there that are they're kind of shaky. They're kind
Yeah.
of shaky. And so now I feel like we get very focused storytelling because I feel like they wrote all the way to the end and they have a plan for the future seasons that we can take advantage of, and that um with the Easter eggs that they can drop, with the characters that they can bring in, this to me feels like potentially, and I don't want to jinx it, but to me this feels like when way back when MCU started and they were doing like, oh, here's your Agent Carter show, here's your
Mhm.
Jessica Jones, here's your Luke Cage, here's your Agents of Shield, that were kind of playing off of the movies
Yes.
in a way that is that just like takes you deeper into the universe, and I'm here for it. I'm here
Yeah.
for it. Pull me in, people. That's what
Yeah.
I want. I want to be pulled in.
And to piggyback on that, because this is not what I was going to say about that, but you brought up a good point. To piggyback on that, there is also in DC, there's DCU, which,
Mhm.
you know, we're going to give to James Gunn. I don't know if it's really his, but we'll give it to him. So there's DCU, which I believe this is in, and then there's Elseworlds. So they also not only do I like the fact that they could do that interconnectivity, but they
Mhm.
also have to do a little bit of separation as well so that we know this is not Elseworlds, right? Like
Mhm.
the things that are in Elseworlds are like the Batman and the Penguin, and then they're
Mhm.
doing another Batman.
You are. I saw
Um,
that. Yeah.
yeah, so those are in the Elseworlds universe, and they have a very different look. It's very noir. It's very
Mhm.
playing on the DC, the darkness of DC. Whereas the DCU, has, it's still a little bit darker than Marvel is, but
Mhm.
it has, we have the comedy, we have the kind of, yes, we're gonna sit down and watch kind of thing like we would do with Arrowverse.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
what I was gonna say about the Arrowverse question is, and uh this is a little more basic than what Jen said, y'all, is that this is HBO, y'all.
Mhm.
Arrowverse is not HBO.
Mhm.
Arrowverse was primetime TV on the CW.
Mhm.
And they did and they did some campy things and some, we're gonna fade to black on certain things that are not that way here.
Mm-mm.
right? And then the first time there was a curse word used on this show, I was like, oh yeah, we're not in Arrowverse.
Yeah.
This is HBO. I
Yeah.
totally forgot. This is HBO. Now this is no Peacemaker, we're not in Titan's realm yet, yet. We'll see. We're not there yet. But yeah, this is HBO. So it's to me, you can't compare because those are totally different experiences, and I come
Mm-hmm.
to those with totally different kind of expectations or
Mm-hmm.
like what I'm looking to see.
Mm-hmm.
I come to those with very different things. Now, as far as the storytelling part goes, as far as bringing me in with the characters, yes, they're doing that. They're
Mm-hmm.
doing it in a different way though, because this is to me is different. So you shouldn't compare any of these things because they're always somebody different's head canon.
Mm-hmm.
But B, these are not the same experiences, even though this is DC and Arrowverse was DC. These are not the same experiences that you're gonna have. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
also gonna echo, yes, with Arrowverse being the 20, kind of at the end they were going down to 22 episodes, which a
Mm-hmm.
lot of shows even on regular TV are going down to 22, but the standard was 26 episodes. And with all 26 episodes, you can't have this very focused, like Jen saying, storytelling. You
Mm-hmm.
can't have that. It's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And two, the other thing about the focus storytelling is there is one story and we're following that arc. So
Right.
it's almost like we're reading chapters in a book.
Mm-hmm.
And with Arrowverse, those episodes were very episodic, right?
Yes. Yes.
Like even though we might have been fighting the big bad, we might have been fighting
Mm-hmm.
that, like for instance, the Flash. We might be fighting the big bad of that season for
Mm-hmm.
several episodes, but we're not doing that every episode.
Right.
Imagine 20
Exactly.
something episodes of fighting the same big bad. You can't do that. So
No, it's
some of them
25
are
hours of television.
right.
We can't just have one bad guy. What I will say
No.
about Arrowverse though, is that the way that they wove backstory, like what has happened before, with all these different things about when he was stranded and what he experienced before he came back to town, right? Because everybody thought he was dead.
Yeah.
And so when he comes back to town, we see him that when he gets back to town in the first episode. But then for all of the seasons, they are telling you things that happened to him in between when he disappeared and when he reappeared. I think what has he gone? 5 years, 6 years, something like that.
Yeah.
He's gone like 5 years.
5 years.
So it's been a while since I watched the show, guys. Give me a break. So,
hey, at least you got through. I'm assuming you got through the whole thing because I did not.
Yeah, I watched
now,
that
the Flash.
whole thing.
I got through the whole thing, but Arrow is okay. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay because and I really appreciate that about the storytelling. Doing these time jumps that had that thematically would pair up with what was going on in the different episodes. Yeah. And that's a real skill in terms of how you plan out your writing schedule, your storytelling, how much information do I give in episode 3 versus 13 versus 23, right? There's a lot to sort of parse out. And I really appreciate that about the Arrow writing staff and how they got those very meaningful vignettes in there.
Yeah, exactly. And kept that continuity. And that's kind of part of what keeps that continuity between all those episodes. Mm-hmm. And we don't have to do that here. We can just stay with our nice, wonderfully rich story, which they have, gotten which they have like laid out for us here. I mean, there is a lot in here to unpack. And y'all, because we're not doing spoilers, we can't tell you that. So make sure you're watching this, but we're not going to do the spoilers. You just, there's so much there.
Here's what I'll say though, is that we actively have 3 different time periods happening. And like I said, there's that one scene on the street that makes me think,
yes,
there might be more time periods that are going to come up.
Right.
There's more. We're gonna see more
stuff that we don't know. They're going to revisit each of the. I think this is just what I think. They're going to revisit each of these time periods at least once in every episode to tell us a little bit more. Now, that's just me. I'm not a showrunner. I don't know it. I don't know about that. But there's so much there that they've given us that they have to go back, right? To at least, to each of these time periods, or not more, like Jen is saying, may go back to more time periods. So speaking of time periods, I am looking at our time. And so what I'm going to do right now is have a little ticker here that talks about being part of the Nerdy Romantics community, because y'all, these episodes, while this one is being recorded, all of them might not be recorded for all of y'all podcast listeners out there. So if you're not watching live, you may miss these, and that is because I'm on the free plan, y'all. It would be nice to actually have some money where I can give y'all all of these, but I can't because I'm on the free plan. But with your help, by being part of the Nerdy Romantics community, being a member, or just buying me a coffee every now and then, I can contribute to actually doing these live and having these also on the podcast where you can hear them. So this might just be a teaser at this point because we are limited on recording time. Now, and with that, if you want to keep up so that you will know about when these come out, instead of maybe just don't have the money right now, but you can come and look at the live streams, make sure you are subscribed to our newsletter. nerdyromanticspodcast.com/subscribe will get you subscribed to this newsletter. And yes, I did send out an email to all my newsletter folks about the live. Now, I will be doing this a little bit. It'll be a little bit less rushed, but yeah. So if you can't give, but you want to see the lives and you just need to be notified, you can subscribe to our newsletter, or you can just subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay. So, yes, there will be a notification there. So with that, and because we are low on time, let's think about this particular episode, a star rating. Should we give the episode a star rating and then what we think that the season will be, or should we just stick with the episode right now?
Oh, I think we got to stick with the episode. Okay. I don't think we have enough information yet. Maybe when we get to the halfway mark.
Yeah,
we can start rating the series, but we're only 1 hour into this thing, and I have a lot of questions.
Exactly. Yes, I do. So Jen, with that being said, what is your star rating for this one? So I'm going to remind everybody what our star ratings are. Our star ratings are based on, yes, we stole it from Goodreads star ratings because this is ideally supposed to be a book podcast. And hey, Green Lanterns was at least 100 or more books, comic books. So there we go. So 1 star means we didn't like it. 2 stars means it was okay. 3 stars, we liked it. 4 stars, we really liked it. And 5 stars, it was amazing. And unlike Goodreads, you can rate in between. So Jen, what did you think about this first episode?
Okay. There are so many things that I like about this episode. And and I'm committed to watching the show in general, but I have to do 3.5 stars. We first of all, like I said, I don't know what they're doing with the lore and that kind of stuff, so that has me a little bit nervous, about what's going to
Okay.
happen next.
Yeah.
But honestly, they lost a whole star for that one scene with young John and his father. That lost a full star for me.
Wow. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, I could see that doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that doing that. I'm going to give it 4 stars. Because I really like the way they've set this up.
Mm-hmm.
And because I miss How to Get Away with Murder. No. No. Actually, but because I like the mystery that they are giving us. They're
Mm-hmm.
giving us full rich characters, which I don't even have to worry about, right? I'm just
Mm-hmm.
liking learning about them. They're giving us kind of today commentary that superhero things should be giving.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving us humor. I like
Mm-hmm.
that. And they're giving us this mystery kind of plot where it's like, I want to know what happens next. And
Yes.
the fact that I'm watching this in real time, and I've committed to doing that, y'all heard it here first. I've committed to watching it in real time. You really got to hook me so that I can keep watching this in real time and talking about
Mm-hmm.
it in real time. And I think they've hit on all those levels. It's not a 5 for me because there's some things, there's some things I don't really know. And yes, that very beginning, it, yeah, it kind of hit me some kind of way,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it hit me some kind of way. So they gotta redeem themselves from that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. But what are you looking forward to for next week on this one, Jan?
Oh gosh. Okay, so I have not been looking at the online
Stuff. Okay.
stuff because yeah, I like to be really surprised. So I'm just kind of keeping an open mind about what happens next. So like I said, my questions include like what is happening with I want to know like where are we going with Kelly McDonald's sheriff character? I
Yeah.
want to know where we're going with uh the Mrs. Macon character.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about the Macons
Yeah.
about everything going on in Macon land. So I'm curious where they're going to go with that stuff. But mainly, I really want to see. I want to figure out like what is this relationship between John and Hal? Where is this going? And yeah, because there's a lot of information to fill in between the main part of the story and that little hint at the future that we
Yeah.
get.
That
So
that end
a
part. Yeah.
lot to fill in. I have way more questions than answers, which honestly, when we're talking about a mystery, that is so important. You have to have more questions than answers when we get started here, because otherwise, why would I keep watching the show if I know
Okay.
everything and I know where they're going? I'm really excited about. I'm really excited that they might shock me. I hope that they will surprise me. I hope that they will. I hope that there's some twists and turns in here that I don't see coming, and because those are the things that I really love, and so fingers crossed.
So on in that vein, when you watch the end part, they will have this season on Lanterns. You might want to turn
Okay.
that off. You might want to turn that off. You might not want to turn that off. But I remember kind of after they had the little segment about the behind the scenes segment, They also had a little kind of, I guess we call it a commercial kind of for what we'll be seeing on Lanterns. And of course, they give you these little whatever, but they don't give you, so much that you're like, oh, that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, but I want to know about the makings. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're about, because also part of the reason why this is not 5 stars is I'm uneasy about the makings. Like, what are they really doing on all this land out there?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when they first rolled up, I had, the first thing that I said, and this is not that podcast, but the first thing I said was Sundown Town. And that is not what I want to, be feeling. Right?
I know, right? I know.
I mean, they're in the middle of Nebraska, y'all. So.
Kansas.
Nebraska. Rushville, Nebraska.
Oh, was it? Okay. You're right. Nebraska. Okay.
But yeah, I'm like, they're making me uneasy. Yeah, they're making me uneasy, and I need to have a better feeling about them, especially because that first initial thing that I felt, it actually evolved. So I did not feel that for the whole time, everybody.
Yeah.
Especially those of us who know what a sundown town is and have been through one of those. I did not feel that at the end, but I'm still feeling uneasy. Okay. And you'll find out why if you haven't watched it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what their part is.
I have faith in this because I do. Wonder Man, again, such a good show. Yes. Wonder Man, I spent the first couple episodes of Wonder Man, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna trust, I'm gonna stick with this, but honestly, like, where are we going with this? And then it just sort of, then it became a really fantastic show.
Yes.
And every episode like had me edge my seat, don't get me wrong, but I really didn't know where the story was going. And that's what I mean. I'm really impressed with this new sort of DCU world that they're going. I was excited. I was really excited about the Loki TV show. I was really excited about the Wonder Man TV show. They were just kind of, they're doing things that I don't expect. And that makes me really happy.
Yeah. So. And now to see DCU doing it is like, I'm excited all over again.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah. It's so exciting. And so I want you guys to be excited with us because we are actually going to do this journey, y'all. More to come. Make sure that, of course, that you are subscribed to the podcast newsletter. If you don't want to be subscribed to the podcast newsletter, at least just be subscribed to the YouTube channel so you can get these episodes when they drop. Because right now we're on a Thursday. We may have to change this up. We'll see what happens. And so that means you need to stay tuned and stay subscribed. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everyone.